Hello, this is Chelyabinsk. Oh no, it's Luxembourg City. Hello, hello, hello. It's the camera. I think we've got too much noise. Yeah, here, let's see. Well, thank you everybody who has come here. Thanks to all the participants, thanks to the media, local and international, for coming in today. It is actually very early for you if you're in the US. We are on the eve of the 4th anniversary of Chelyabinsk, which took place tomorrow, February 15th, 4 years ago in 2013. Asteroid Day is a global day of education, now finally recognized by the United Nations, and will be celebrated every year on June 30th worldwide. Today, for this press conference, we are coming live from Luxembourg City, from Berlin, London, Silicon Valley, and Bucharest. I would like to thank Cisco and Ref in making this press conference possible. I would also like to thank our sponsors, OHB and SES. They're both here. Thank you so much for coming. And I would like to thank the government of Luxembourg, and especially Deputy Prime Minister Schneider, for hosting us today, and what we think is going to be a fantastic hour for you. Just a quick note to the media. If you log in via WebEx, YouTube, if you're locally, please submit all your questions to pr@asteroidday.org, and we will filter them. My fellow co-founder, Danica, Remy, and our head of PR, Diane Murphy. Can I just make sure, we hear some noise in the background. Can we just make sure that's kept to the minimum, please? So the first participant, we're very thrilled to have from Cambridge.
Except for
Huh?
It hung up.
It hung up. Okay. Well, let me give over to Danica then, and we'll see if we can get Sir Martin Rees in later.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I'd like to introduce Etienne Schneider, who is the Deputy Prime Minister of Luxembourg and the Minister of Economy. Thank you for joining us and hosting us today.
Thank you, Danica. Ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to tell you that I'm really proud to announce that the 2017 event of the United Nations, Asteroid Day, will be produced live from Luxembourg. The 24-hour broadcast of Global Asteroid Day activities and educational programming on June 13th will bring together astronauts and a panel of scientists, asteroid experts, and other notables. Starting in Luxembourg, we will connect with different locations around the world. The Japanese space agency JAXA, for instance, will give a talk about Hayabusa 2, and we will also connect you with NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission from Arizona. The Asteroid Day will bring a focus to Luxembourg's leading role related to asteroids in the frame of its Space Resources LU initiative. Luxembourg aims to contribute to the peaceful exploration and sustainable utilization of resources from celestial bodies such as the Moon, and in particular from asteroids. While asteroids might be seen as a threat to our planet, they are also a tremendous opportunity. Indeed, the use of space resources, both on Earth and in space, holds a large potential for future technological innovation, economic activity, and growth, with a promise of ecological and social benefits for mankind. To ensure that this vision becomes a reality, we have to increase our knowledge and understanding of asteroids and near-Earth objects. Under the Space Resource.lu initiative, we offer dedicated support for public and private R&D through existing programs, and offer general support for companies active in this field. Both Luxembourg's global leadership in the new space sector and Asteroid Day's efforts in planetary defense awareness will benefit from a better knowledge of asteroids. Both protecting humanity from asteroid impacts and the exploration and expansion into space require better detecting and tracking of asteroids and an improved understanding of the evolution and mechanism of these bodies. Luxembourg deeply regrets, by the way, that ESA's asteroid impact mission failed to get the financial support it needed during the last council meeting at ministerial level in Switzerland. Luxembourg is convinced of the necessity of such a project and will continue to advocate for the implementation of the AIM mission. Next Monday, I hope to meet a new German minister of the economy at the European Union's Competitiveness Council in Brussels in order to discuss this mission together with her. Ladies and gentlemen, to open access to a wealth of previously unexplored mineral resources on lifeless rocks hurling through space without damaging natural habitats, we have to intensify the development of interest and skills to ensure the availability of highly qualified talents. Besides expanding research activities, education is a key element to achieve our common goals. With the Space Resources.lu initiative, we make the vision of sustainable economic development in the space industry a reality by supporting advanced research activities and technological capabilities in this field. Expeditions to NEOS are already underway and will increase the knowledge we have of these bodies. Luxembourg and the new pioneering business will therefore also help to protect life on Earth against asteroid strikes. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to introduce you to Dorin Prunaviu, who is connected to us from Bucharest. Dorin is the first and only Romanian astronaut who played an essential role in United Nations support of Asteroid Day. So, Dorin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Schneider, for introducing me. I'm very glad to take part in this press conference as long as the Association of Space Explorers is involved from a long time in the research and the promotion of knowledge connected with the asteroids. In 2009, the Association of Space Explorers proposed a study to the United Nations, a study which became a working document, and as a result of the international contributions to this document, 2 years ago, the United Nations organized two entities to deal with asteroids, the International Advisory Warning Network and the Space Mission Planning Advisory Group, that are working in the framework of a very specialized bodies, people, and of course, it was missing one element, the information of the large public. The information about the asteroids, the information about the work of these entities, and not only the information about the activity of space agencies dealing with near-Earth objects. And the Asteroid Day was exactly what we needed. Now, using this event, approved officially by the United Nations General Assembly last year, we have the opportunity to organize every year 1 day fully dedicated to the promotion of knowledge, science, to the general public. I'm very glad that I was the person who introduced to the United Nations this proposal to recognize the Asteroid Day as an International Asteroid Day, marked anywhere in the world. And I'm very glad that very fast all people, all member states acknowledge the necessity to have this day and approve it. And this fall, in 2016, the United Nations General Assembly approved it as the International Asteroid Day. Thank you very much for your participation and for your help. And I greet with this occasion all my friends there in any corner of the world. Thank you very much. Now I want to introduce the President of the Romanian Space Agency, Mr. Marius Ioan Piso, who will introduce you to the involvement of public institutions in Romania with this important event.
Good afternoon, everybody. Romania, as you maybe were aware, gave some support, political mainly, to the issue of asteroids within the United Nations system and the Committee on the Peaceful Usage of Outer Space. At the same time, we organized 1 decade ago the Conference on Planetary Defense, Our main concern related to asteroids is the issue of the near-Earth objects, which might be dangerous for the planet. And it is our policy and to develop methods and systems that humankind might utilize to get a way to escape from this threat. And in particular, we are developing efforts in the last years within the European Space Agency related to space missions as the Proba 3, which will generate a system to be able to detect asteroids coming from the sun. Another very interesting project, and probably we will speak longer today about, it is the AIDA, the Asteroid Impact Deflection Mission, the NASA DART component, and the AIM, which probably will become soon an ESA mission. And another also interesting project is the development of radar, which might be also mono and bistatic, able to detect objects of something like 1 centimeter at a distance of 500 kilometers. And I'm happy to see here that Mr. Franco Ongaro, the Director of Technology within the European Space Agency and the head of one of the most powerful institutes in the world, ESTEC. I'm happy that he's here. Franco, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Piso, and thank you very much for your
My
words
pleasure.
of support. And of course, we're very happy to be here today. I'd like to thank especially the organizers and those like you who have pushed very hard to have the Asteroid Day become an official day of the United Nations, and for giving this major view to the public of what the threat is and helping in educate and diffuse the word. We at the European Space Agency are fully committed to protect the planet from this threat. We do that in mainly two ways. One is, of course, to support the detection and the characterization from ground of the asteroids themselves and on the near-Earth objects. We do that through our Space Situational Awareness Program. And in particular, we have a NEO Center, which collects all the observation, redistributes it, and makes impact assessments as rapidly as possible and put them on our website. So that's the first thing we do, and we do it all the time. But once you've detected it, you got to do something about it. And we are perhaps the first generation in humankind that has the possibility of actually doing something against such a threat. And what we're doing is technically characterize what would mean to strike an asteroid and change its course. And for this, we've started since a long time a possible mission. We started years ago. It was called Don Quixote. Our American partners, and I must stress, everything we do about NEOs is a partnership work around the world. Our American partners came back to us with an improved version of the idea, which is AIDA, because it strikes a binary asteroids, which makes it easier to detect the effects, and it's much more interesting because that's the most likely type of asteroid we would see striking the Earth. At this level, of course, as Deputy Prime Minister Schneider just mentioned, we were not able to get the full funding for the mission at the ministerial. However, we had sufficient encouragement from many countries, and I must in particular thank Deputy Prime Minister because I think his words were really touching us all, and perhaps the best thanks to the work we've done so far that we've heard. We are working on making sure that the mission can be done. We have many countries that support us, and we're working with industry to make sure that we can meet the deadline and reduce the cost in order to make it even more affordable. This mission will test the way in which we can deflect and will prepare, therefore, the basis for a protection in the future. Two last words, very quickly. We mentioned the UN COPUOS, the Committee for Peaceful Uses. Europe is chairing the Space Mission Planning Group, and therefore we chair and we have a definite responsibility in front of the world on this particular item. And finally, our friends of Asteroid Day will partner with us for an event in Rome on the 30th of June. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Franco. It's great to have you here in Luxembourg. I'm going to put the speakerphone on and introduce Lord Martin Rees, coming in from Cambridge, the Royal Astronomer. Martin, do you have a few words to share with us?
Yes. Can I first say I'm sorry I can't be with you, and also that my computer link is not very good. But can I first say how much I welcome the fact that public consciousness about the asteroid threat is rising, and that it's excellent that official organizations like ESA are now seriously addressing how we can have programs that will aim in the long run to minimize this threat. I think we are all aware that we on planet Earth, spaceship Earth, are vulnerable to impact from outside. We know evidence that these have happened in the past, and what is exciting is that for the very first time we're in a position to remove this risk. It may not be the greatest risk, that's not the most high-profile short-term risk confronting us, but I think if you were to make an assessment of what insurance premium it's worth paying in order to reduce the risk of asteroid impact, you'd come up with a figure of several €100 million a year, which the world ought to be spending in order to reduce this risk. And of course, in order to reduce it, we need to have a program to discover all the asteroids that could threaten us, and then of course in the longer term think of ways to deflect one that might be heading towards us. So it's very important that international organizations should realize that this is an environmental issue which should be taken on board like other environmental concerns which we globally need to tackle. And also it is good news that technically it is possible to actually reduce the asteroid risk by a two-stage process. First, obviously, identifying the asteroids, pinning down their orbits so we know which ones might threaten us, and then thinking of techniques whereby we can deflect those which perhaps in the coming decades might be on an orbit that threatens to get dangerously close to the Earth. So I think this is a welcome innovation, and it is quite right that we should have one day a year when we focus on this environmental threat, and it's excellent that this is happening this year and will be an annual event, and I am very glad to add my support to this, and in this support I'm speaking for many of my colleagues in the United Kingdom. So thank you very much for allowing me to participate. I'm sorry I'm not actually with you round the table.
Thank you very much, Martin.
Can I just make one technical note? The Cisco WebEx, there's somebody who needs to mute their audio so we can get a better audio. Can you just tell Michael the text, please?
Okay. Thank you, Martin. As the Deputy Prime Minister mentioned, we're excited to bring the 24-hour broadcast called Asteroid Day Live from Luxembourg on June 30th. With the support of SES and our new partner BCE, these two Luxembourg-based companies will make Asteroid Day Live from Luxembourg possible. I'm delighted to introduce Markus, Vice President of Corporate Communications at SES. He's been instrumental in making Asteroid Day Live from Luxembourg a reality. Markus?
Thanks, Danica, and thanks for the warm welcome. SES is certainly proud and pleased to join this initiative, and nobody is better placed actually to explain why than Rui Pinto, who is our Deputy Chief Technology Officer of SES, just freshly joined SES recently. Rui.
Thank you, Markus. Let me elaborate why SES is such a natural partner for the Asteroid Day initiative. There are many reasons for that. I think the first one is that at SES, we are experts in space. SES was launched 30 years ago. We have developed into a global leader in our industry. We built and we manage the largest commercial satellite platform in the world. We have 65 satellites flying and 16 being built. We cover nearly every spot on Earth and 99% of the world's population. That's a record to be proud of. We reach nearly 320 million TV households. We touch 1.3 billion people every day, and those numbers are growing. We also serve hundreds of enterprises, institutions, governments, and organizations. We push and take that very seriously. Technology, digitalization, economics, societal development. We take our corporate social responsibility obligations very seriously. We help with natural disasters. Whenever there is an earthquake, a tsunami, an event around the world, SES is at the forefront of providing communication where it's needed and providing it first. It saves lives. We are also one of the largest customers of the global space industry. We can drive technology that way. We spend it wisely, growing our fleet and building the digital infrastructure for future services in developed markets and in emerging markets, particularly. And in order to survive and stay the leader that we are, we have to innovate. We have to push the boundaries of technology. We have to look for higher performance, new efficiencies, affordable solutions. We have to push the boundaries. And Asteroid Day is a lot about that. It's about pushing the boundaries. Innovation is key for us in the long run. We are participating in shaping the building blocks of the space technology, and being here is part of that drive. Second, we are also a natural partner because we can help spread that message around the world. The distribution of signals is our core business. Our fleet, the fleet that we operate that covers countries and continents, and the necessary gateways to connect people will be used to distribute this event, to publicize this event. We are giving access to our satellite fleet to that effect. And finally, last but certainly not least, we are a natural partner because of Luxembourg, because of the Luxembourg government. We are in Luxembourg. We are from Luxembourg. We're founded here. We grew up here. And we are a key factor in the Luxembourg economy. As a parenthesis, on a personal note, Markus was charitable. I only moved here 10 days ago. I have been in the space industry for 36 years. I worked in another large company in the sector for 26 years. And I can tell you from personal experience that companies envy and would love to have the institutional support that the Luxembourg government provides. They have made us into the pioneers that we are today. And being here is just the minimum that we could do to help that. We support the space sector's further developments. We invest in innovation. And together with the Luxembourg government, we see space as an important resource. It's an enabling set of technologies. And we'll continue to develop and leverage with the Luxembourg government the space sector. Asteroids, as my final comment, are a centerpiece of the new space activities in Luxembourg. There are many people that think, like they probably thought in the late 80s, that why would we invest in that? When SES was created, there were many skeptics as well. And the visionaries in the Luxembourg government, they decided to take, quite frankly, a bet, an informed bet into this area. They may be proved right in decades to come. And that's why, in essence, we support this initiative. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving us the opportunity to express this support here today.
Thank you so much, Markus and Rui. Thank you so much, SES. I think that perfectly summed it up. Asteroids are fascinating, aren't they? And just a quick reminder to the press from everywhere, just send your questions to pr@asteroidday.org. We will answer them as soon as we're done here. We are excited this year, in 2017, to have a global sponsor in OHB, one of the three leading space companies in Europe. And I'm very thrilled to have CEO Markus Fuchs here with us today. Thank you so much for being here, and to a great future, to a bright and great future.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. And Grig, when you visited me 10 days ago, it was one of those meetings where I wasn't sure what to think of, and I went into this meeting and I came out being the main sponsor of Asteroid Day. So that basically tells the story how Grig was able to transfer the enthusiasm, and I think also, even being from the space industry, asteroids have been neglected over the last decades. People were looking and minding other things, and just in the last couple of years, I think the attention for asteroids and the danger, but also the opportunity of asteroid has been rightfully put at the right level of attention. So for me, it's really a big pleasure to be here today as OHB's representative. The whole setup is interesting, actually. It's the first time in this type of setup, so thank you very much also to Cisco for sponsoring this and making this possible. We are very happy to be part of Asteroid Day for this year. Of course, as an industrial entity, we were excited by the opportunity of the AIM mission that we work on, and I can say that, as Franco Ongaro said, that the work on AIM is going on. The consolidation work is about to be finished. Unfortunately, as Deputy Prime Minister Etienne Schneider was saying, it was not fully funded at the last ESA ministerial conference in Lucerne in December. But I can report that the industrial consortium working on the consolidation study under our prime contractorship is about to finish the work, the consolidation work, and together with ESA, I think we will come up with a piece of work that should address some of the concerns that some of the member states had in terms of reliability and in terms of predictability, schedule constraints, and things like that. So, of course, we are hopeful that we can now, based on that, on the solid work done with ESA and the industrial team, together go back to some of the member states, and I must say, of course, particularly my own country, Germany, that was a bit, let's say, a bit skeptical 2 or 3 months ago on this, and try to make the case of AIM as being a very important European contribution to the topic of asteroid protection. First of all, of course, monitoring the US mission, and then hopefully providing insights into how to eventually deflect asteroids that are potentially threatening Earth. So again, I can only say the industrial team is ready. OHB is very honored to lead that effort for Europe. And again, I'm looking forward to an exciting year being part of Asteroid Day, especially, of course, to the main event on June 30th. So thank you very much for having me here today.
Thank you, Marco, for being with us today and also being a supporter of Asteroid Day. We're very grateful to have you as part of the Asteroid team. Thank you. So now I'd like to introduce Patrick Michel, who is a French senior researcher at CNRS and the principal researcher for the Asteroid Impact Mission. Patrick?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to be here and to represent the Observatoire de la Côte d'Azur, who is actually a partner of Asteroid Day. So Asteroid Day is actually a fascinating initiative. It's fantastic. And this is because asteroids themselves are fascinating, and for many reasons. So first, they are the best tracers of our solar system history, and they can allow us to understand how planets formed and how life emerged on Earth. Then they also correspond to extreme conditions in terms of surface attraction, because they are very small. And we need to understand that if we want to be able to study their evolution and also to be able to prepare missions that want to cope with them, whether they want to do some asteroid mining or science. Then they are also a potential great source of resources. And finally, they are the only threat that we can mitigate. So along those lines, the Asteroid Impact Mission studied by ESA is an exciting technology demonstration. It will actually be the first mission to visit a binary asteroid, so the equivalent of the Earth and Moon at small scale. and it will also visit the smallest asteroid ever visited. The moon of this binary is only 160 meters in size. So that will serve both technology, planetary defense, mining, and science. It will perform close proximity operation in this environment for the first time. It will also carry, deploy, and communicate with a CubeSat in interplanetary space that will study the composition of the asteroid. It will contribute to a first demonstration of a deflection by a kinetic impactor made by NASA by observing the impact and its outcome. And it will contribute to asteroid mining because it will greatly improve our understanding of the physical and compositional properties of a small asteroid. So, of course, then I can say that AIM and asteroids in general are a great source of fascination for the public and inspiration for the young generations. And I think that ESA and Europe have a great opportunity with AIM to play a big role in this. And this is the only opportunity before a long time otherwise. Then I will introduce my colleague Jean-Baptiste Vincent, who actually worked on the Rosetta mission, which gave the visibility to Europe in the small body missions. And that's what we want to keep.
I think he's not there.
He's not there?
No, so...
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Okay. I don't see myself on the stream, so I don't know if you have the image, but you have the sound, so it's good. Thank you, Patrick, for the introduction. Europe is a leader in small body exploration. This started 30 years ago with the Giotto mission, which was the first mission to observe a cometary nucleus from a very close distance and visited Comet Halley. For the next 30 years, we have developed a huge expertise in terms of engineering, operations, and the science of small bodies, asteroids, and comets. And ultimately, this led to the huge success of the Rosetta mission, a spacecraft that orbited the comet for 2 years and deposited a small lander on its surface. The Rosetta mission has opened a lot of new perspective on small body science and is challenging our understanding of the solar system. All these new questions need to be addressed by future missions, and all this expertise needs to continue to develop. In the next decade, we know that the other space agencies, such as NASA or JAXA, are going to explore new asteroids and comets. In Europe, for the next 10 years at least, AIM represents the only opportunity to maintain our expertise and our experience with such missions to small bodies. It is very important that we continue to develop this effort so that we don't lose all the experience we have gained in terms of industry, operations, science, and that we address all the challenges that asteroids pose to us.
Thank you very much, Jean-Baptiste. We're thrilled to share that the European Southern Observatory and the Secure World Foundation, along with the International Space University, have joined our returning group of over 30 educational, space agency, and other partners at Asteroid Day. We currently have 13 premier events at locations all around the world, including the Vienna Museum of Natural History, the South African Astronomical Observatory, the Arizona University and OSIRIS-REx mission, to name just a few. You can check in our press kit for a full list of premier event locations. In addition, we expect over 700 independently organized events around the world this year. Each of these events are independently organized by an amazing group of volunteers around the world. And as of today, we have 97 regional volunteers to complement the hundreds of other organizers. Today, we're highlighting one of them for you. Asteroid Day expert panel deputy chair Debbie Lewis is a risk and crisis management expert and is also a regional coordinator for Asteroid Day in the United Kingdom. She will host a regional live stream tomorrow to inform you, the press, and the public about some regional efforts around the world. Over to you, Debbie, in London.
Hello, and Danica. Hello, Grig, and distinguished guests. It's a real honour and a privilege to be able to join you here this afternoon. So thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to highlight certainly what we're doing in the United Kingdom and in London. And we'll be hosting an event at the Imperial College in London on Friday, June the 30th, which I'm really thrilled and really, really excited about. And particularly, we're going to be joined by some really sort of fantastic people. We're very privileged and extremely fortunate to be joined by the British astronaut, Dr. Helen Sharman, who, of course, was the first British female to visit the Russian Mir space station in 1991. So she's going to be opening the event for us on Asteroid Day, and she'll also be get my teeth in. She'll also be chairing a discussion panel for us as well. There you go. See, I can hardly contain my excitement. My words are just tripping out. And the speakers that we have so far for the day in London include Professor Joanna Morgan and Max Alexander, who I notice is taking photographs of you all today. But of course, Max has done something very special as a result of quite a large crater formed at Chicxulub. So we're really thrilled and looking forward to seeing Max's pictures of the Chicxulub drilling expedition that took place last year. And of course, Dr. Joanna Morgan was one of the chief scientists, the senior scientists on that expedition. So she's going to be talking to us as well. We'll also be joined by Jay Tate, who is the director of the National Near-Earth Object Information Centre, which is based at the Space Guards Centre in Wales. So he'll be talking to us about the importance of discovery of these objects that may be coming towards us at some point in the future. We'll also be joined by Professor Richard Crowther from the UK Space Agency, Simon Green from the Open University, and Dr. Lewis Dartnell, who of course has written a wonderful book called The Knowledge, which basically sort of explains how we can survive Armageddon-type impact events, such as one that could be caused by an asteroid. And then, of course, lastly, but by no means least, I'll be talking about civil protection arrangements that will be required just in case, in the unlikely event, that a technical deflection mission to steer an asteroid safely away from Earth's orbit, if that were not likely to be successful, then of course we need to have contingency planning arrangements in place. So yes, as Danica's already pointed out, my approach to asteroids is somewhat different to a scientific one. It's when they sort of become Earthwards, and it's what sort of methods we need to arrange, what protection arrangements we need to put in place in order to save humanity. So it's fabulous that we sort of talk about planetary defence and civil protection at the same time. So it's, as I say, a huge honour for emergency planning or resilience planning to form a key part of Asteroid Day. So thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Debbie. Really appreciate all your hard work. And we'll see you on June 30th. And obviously we'll have that event as well as part of Asteroid Day live from Luxembourg. So it'll be broadcast around the world. The feed will come into Luxembourg, and it's going to be fantastic. So thanks to you, and thanks to all the hard-working event organizers and regional coordinators who are making this possible. And it's great. Thank you so much. Now we're giving a few thousand miles away through the beauty of technology to one of the people really who has been absolutely instrumental actually in making Asteroid Day happen. Dr. Ed Lu, he's a 3-time shuttle astronaut, and he is the co-founder of B612. Ed, can you hear us over there?
Sure can. Thank you very much, Grig. First off, I want to thank Cisco for supporting Asteroid Day through their collaboration tools that allow us to communicate and collaborate with the public and regional coordinators around the world. I'd like to introduce Mike Utrenka. He's the Senior Director for Corporate Affairs. Michael is the leading the Partner Development Organization for Corporate Affairs, and was formerly in the Executive Director of the Cisco Foundation, and he sits on the board of Network for Good with Danica over there. So, Mike?
Well, thank you, and thank you for this opportunity to host this event. This is an exciting place to be right now, and as Cisco is really focused on accelerating global problem solving through the use of our technology, with the intent to positively impact people, society, and the planet, I really can't think of a better way to address all of these issues than by helping to raise awareness about asteroids and how to protect our planet from their dangerous impacts. We also see this as a great opportunity to raise interest in people to explore careers as scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians. And I think there's a number of them here in this audience today. And we really see these people as the opportunity to become these problem solvers for this and multiple other issues that are challenging us today around the world. One of the main focus areas for Cisco and corporate affairs is education. In particular, as I've heard, this day is all about education. Our corporate social responsibility programs have reached literally millions of students around the globe in tens of thousands of institutions. And I'm already getting a number of inquiries about how they can participate in Asteroid Day and the activities around Asteroid Day. Education, collaboration, and problem-solving skills are keys to solving any challenge, and particularly this challenge as we face this going forward. I like to look at the use of our collaboration technologies like telepresence, WebEx, Spark, which are going to allow us all to work together both synchronously and asynchronously in both real and virtual environments. As we know that we can all accomplish things much better together than we can by ourselves. At Cisco, we're striving to bring the benefits of digitization to literally every person in the world in three primary ways. We focus first on empowering individuals and organizations through the development and implementation of digital skills, and we catalyze an innovative and entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I certainly see a lot of entrepreneurial spirit and innovation in this group here today, and with you, Dr. Liu, in founding this organization to address this challenge. Second, we really promote sustainable outcomes across business operations, across supply chain and our customer base through good business practices and transformative solutions. And finally, we invest in global problem solvers who apply innovative, technology-based solutions and multi-stakeholder partnerships, a great example of what we're seeing here today. This is why we're engaging in Asteroid Day, and this is how we, as an organization and as Cisco Corporate Affairs, hope to reach our goal of impacting 1 billion people by the year 2025. This can certainly help us move that needle forward. So thank you for allowing us to be part of this.
Thank you, Mike. Before we go to Ed, Debbie, do you think you could mute your room there?
Yeah, just yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, just don't move around. Just sit on the sofa and smile with your beautiful face.
Okay, sorry.
Well, thank you, Mike. I'd like to sort of step back for a second and just try to describe to you what I think is the big picture of what we're all trying to do. Mike, you really pointed out how important it is that we bring people around the world to support this. But let's just think about what we're really doing here. All of us around the world are on Spaceship Earth, which is it's essentially a large rock orbiting the sun. And our rock, the third planet from the sun, has been orbiting the sun for nearly 5 billion years. And natural processes have been going on. This planet has been struck thousands and thousands of times by large asteroids. In fact, they have completely driven the evolution of life on this planet. They brought water here. They've changed the climate multiple times. They have changed the evolution of life. Now here we are, us human beings. We've reached the state where we have not only things like global travel, global communications brought about by companies that can communicate across the planet, but we are at the beginnings of the stage where we've taken our first steps into space. I and others, Doran, for example, have been privileged to fly into space and been part of very large projects, the International Space Station, the Mir, the Space Shuttle program. And it's interesting. People sometimes ask me, what's your most important lesson from that? And to me, the most important thing that I understood after taking part in programs like that, looking back at the Earth, is that we human beings can do absolutely amazing things if we work together, if we communicate with each other, if we have a common purpose and a common drive. And, I find it amazing that we are now at the point where we are talking about changing the solar system as a whole, preventing the third planet from being hit by large asteroids, going out there into space, taking advantage of these resources, moving outwards and changing the actual structure and evolution of the solar system for human good. And I think that's what this is all really about. I want people around the world to know that we are, all of us, working on something grand, bigger than ourselves. And that's what I find so amazing about this endeavor. All the different parts of it, the protection of the Earth, the inspiration of the kids, the moving outwards of our economic sphere, our opening up of space. All this is happening, and I think not only amazing, but I feel very lucky to be alive at this time when this is all happening. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Ed, and thank you so much, Mike, and thank you so much for everyone who's come together. It's really a beautiful thing. I mean, like Ed said, it's a problem that we can solve. It's an opportunity, and we're all coming here together, recognizing that. And I think it's a wonderful moment. And thank you, everybody, for sharing this moment. And let's make sure that we create more wonderful moments like that. And remember that we, the human species, can really change the history of the universe and the solar system. So thank you, everybody. And thank you to the vision of you especially and your government. Really, I really mean that. This should be Asteroid Central around the world. This is what we see the future of Asteroid Central. And right now I'm living out of a suitcase, and I'm hopefully going to be here very soon where it's a very beautiful place to be.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we're wrapping this up. If there are any international questions for the Deputy Prime Minister, because you have a very tight schedule. So if the local media wants to interview him, if they want to set up quickly in the other room, because I think we only have 10 minutes left with him. So this is your opportunity to do so, please. Do we have any international questions? And starting with the Deputy Prime Minister, so he can go and do the local. If there are any reporters on the line right now, it might be a bit early. You can always send them to pr@astroday.org. We have a lot of spokespeople here, and we can connect you. If you have any questions, send them to pr@astroday.org, please. RTL, do you want to get the mic, or do you want to keep it? It's fine. Cool. All right.
Great.
Danica's taking
So
over.
we have one question. Why, Deputy Prime Minister, is Luxembourg so well suited and well positioned for investing in space activities? And how does that fit with the Asteroid Day plans?
We have quite a long history in space activities, as we started in the 1980s with putting in place SES, which is now the biggest private satellite company in the world. At that time, the government took a huge risk in order to make it happen, because at the time of the first launch of the first satellite of SES, no insurance company wanted to give an insurance on this launch because it was too risky to them. Then we had to pass a law in Parliament in order to give the insurance by ourselves as a government, and this was an equivalent of more or less 5% of our total annual budget, which is a huge amount of money. And then we had these discussions in Parliament where some members of Parliament said, or many of them said, why do people need satellites? Nobody needs that. And there were huge discussions about the risk, if the risk for human mankind, if these satellites fall down to Earth, what will happen, and who will be responsible of that? So even though we had all these difficult discussions, we took the risk at that time in order to launch this satellite, to give this insurance, to support SES, and being a shareholder, of course, of this company. And due to this company, which started their activities in the 1980s, we have now a microcosm of let's say, space-oriented companies in Luxembourg, which is quite important. I always say that we take more space in space than on Earth. I know it's quite easy. But anyhow, we have a reputation in space activities, and that's why when I became a minister of the economy exactly 5 years ago, one of my first meetings was with NASA in the United States and at NASA Ames Research Center, and they were talking to me about space resources, about space mining. And even though it sounded like complete science fiction to me at that time, I was very much interested into the topic. So I got much more information about it. I met many interesting people and had many discussions, assisted to many conferences, organized one international conference about space mining in Luxembourg as well. And then we decided to go for it, and we decided to take another initiative in the space business, because for me the question is not if it will happen. The question is just when it will happen, and we want to be a front runner, and we have all these space activities in Luxembourg, and we want to attract not all of them, but part of this research and development activities to Luxembourg. That's why we put in place a legal framework for the companies which want to go into space mining, so that they can use the material they are bringing down, or be the owner of whatever they find in space. And then we had discussions with lawyers, or not lawyers, but university professors all around the world about space law, because as you all know, the Space Act doesn't really address this topic, and we found a solution in order to have a legal framework which is in line with the United Nations Space Act. So what we're doing now is to attract these companies, more than 50 companies from all around the world, and research institutions knocked already on our door in order to settle down here, or at least to know more in detail what we are going to do. And I have many discussions with other governments in order to work together, because as one of the colleagues said, the most important is that we work all together in this initiative, because otherwise, certainly for Luxembourg, but I think also for other countries, it will just not be possible to have all the money to develop all these activities and to develop all the technologies we need. So we should bring all the like-minded countries together in order to have one common project, what we are going to do in space, and how we are going to commercialize also what we can find in space. Of course, respecting the environment, etc. We should not do the same mistakes in space than we did on Earth. So, for me, that's really challenging. It's something I'm really thrilled about, and I think the actual success after only 1 year, it's now 1 year that we launched this initiative, shows that we're on the right track.
Great. I have just one more question for you.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be on June 30th, 2017?
I guess here.
Great. Well, I know there's some folks who want to talk with you outside, so we'll say thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you.
And for your country hosting this press conference and Asteroid Day Live.
Thank you very much, and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. If everybody else just wants to stay here, just...
Now, are there any questions from the press who are here for some of the other folks that are at the table? Before you all move out into the...
Thank you.
Okay, great. So we had a couple of questions that did come in.
Actually, we've got Martin here. Sorry, we've still got Martin here as well.
Okay, Martin is still with us. Great. So, Isa for Franco. Isa was an early partner to Asteroid Day. Why did you select this organization to carry your message of importance in the R&D into the universe?
Well, I believe we were very much impressed by the capacity for organizing and for mobilizing people around the world, and it's a talent that as an engineering outfit we don't really have inborn. So it's been really fascinating for us to see this capacity, and I must echo Markus' word before. I mean, it's really impressive what this group of people have been able to put together in such a short time. So that's...
Well, and I think it goes to what Mike was saying, which is very much the power of the network. We would never have been able to achieve what we've achieved over the last 2 days if it wasn't from some of the leadership that the ASE and Doran provided, and then our network of amazing event organizers who really took the idea of everything that you could possibly talk about asteroids. We're going to talk about asteroids, and we're going to shine a light on the scientists and the people who are working on it. So we're very appreciative that you've joined our network.
Yes, thank you so much. Really.
So let me just check here. How about Martin? Are you still there? Can you hear us?
I'm still here, yes.
Great, great. You're a person who speaks and listens to people a lot around the universe. What is your message today that you think is the most important part of Asteroid Day?
Well, I think it's to make a wider public think globally and to realize that these are issues that we need to cooperate, and it is worth a substantial investment of effort to minimize the risk. But I think also this is a way in which we can make people more aware of our environment generally. And also, we must bear in mind that although asteroids are bad news, they might also be good news in that mining of asteroids is a serious possibility. I personally think mining of asteroids will be useful not so much for bringing rare materials down to Earth, but for allowing robotic fabricators to build large structures in space in the second half of the century without needing to take all the stuff up from the ground. So I can imagine that in the second half of the century we'll be making use of asteroids, maybe by having moved them into different orbits to provide material that will enable huge structures to be built in space. So let's not forget there's an upside from our study of asteroids, as well as the fact that we are trying to ensure that we avoid catastrophe for the world.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Martin, for that. We're right at time now.
Yeah, are we?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, because we got a lot of reporters here as well that want to ask us questions. Again, I want to thank everybody who's been with us. Again, press, a lot of the media is not up yet. So if you're on the West Coast, East Coast, wherever you are, and you're watching the recording, please submit your questions to pr@asteroidday.org. We will get to them as soon as we can. Also, please note that in the newsroom, in the next hour, so 4:30 p.m. CET, we will make this video available in 720 HD. We will also have the first pictures up that you can use for your print and digital publications. Thank you so much for listening today. I also want to thank all the partners, the sponsors, and also our partners who can't be with us here today. Unai, I know you're watching. And just a quick plug. Good luck to my home planetarium in Hamburg, who are doing their grand opening tonight. And get dressed and don't get too drunk. That's what I was told to say. Especially my mom. Mom, I love you. Sorry for that. I had to say that. She was like, say it. All right. Anything else? Final words? Anything? Okay. Well, thank you again, everybody here. Thank you so much for coming, making all the trips here. And June 30th, Asteroid Day is going to be fantastic, and we are going to make it global, worldwide, fantastic. Thanks to all our partners, our sponsors, and the event organizers, all the hardworking people, the incredible network, everybody who cares about the issue. Join us for Asteroid Day. It's the one day a year where it's all about asteroids, 24 hours, brought to you around the world. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Live from Luxembourg.
Live from Luxembourg.
Happy Asteroid Day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks. Thank you.
Do you want to take the pictures? Guys, anybody who's on the screen, just Ed and Doran.
What happened to Doran?
I'll text.
Is Doran, are you still there?
What do you want to do?
Oh, we want to do